Hi everyone, my name is Sanya. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing my top favorite foundations. A foundation is something that you can apply on your skin in order to get a more even tone and also to get a kind of flawless airbrush finish to your skin. So you can pair your foundation with a concealer, you can set it with a powder. There are different types of foundations also. I'm going to be talking about the foundations that have never disappointed me and that I've been loving lately, and also my all-time favorites. So let's start with the first foundation that I found was perfect for my skin tone, and I used to think that doesn't exist. So this is the first foundation that we are going to be talking about. That's the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. So the reason I love this foundation is because it was the only foundation that I had found in India which was my own skin tone. So before MAC, I think so I kind of used maybe very little makeup in terms of like just a compact powder, and I used to apply a lot of moisturizer so that it kind of looks less white on my skin, because somehow it always gave this very grayish kind of weird tone which I hated. So when I kind of got my hands on this one, I did not look back ever. So this particular foundation is a liquid foundation, and it's something that can give you a medium coverage to a buildable or a full coverage depending on how much makeup you want for that day. You can definitely adapt it in that way. So this foundation is very good for someone who has combination skin, because with combination skin you kind of want the foundation to hold the oils that you naturally kind of get on your face, and at the same time you want it to look a little more silky and natural. You don't want it to look too matte, because sometimes when it's too matte it kind of looks a little too heavy. At least in my opinion, I feel that. So that was the first one. The second one that I love is actually a powder based foundation. Again, this one is from MAC, and this is the Studio Fix foundation. So it comes in a powder form. It's very mattifying, but not mattifying to a spot where you look like your face can't move. No, it's very, very flexible. It's something that I carry all the time. So in the liquid form, I use the shade NC45, and in the powder one, I use the shade which is NC43.5. So the difference is because in NC45 the color is slightly darker than my skin tone, which I like, because I feel like when it's darker you can always enhance your features a little bit more, in terms of you can use a lighter shade just in the center of your face if you want to get that very focused inner triangle kind of look. So that's why I use the 45. And in terms of the powder, I use the 43.5 because I feel like this one is exactly my skin tone. So I don't have to always use a lot of concealer or any other product to even my skin tone before putting this on. And the times that I use the powder foundation is when I just want to step out of the house for something small, or it's not like an occasion where I'm all dolled up. It's just maybe just to have some kind of grooming done, then I would go ahead and wear the Studio Fix. I also like to carry the Studio Fix powder in my purse most times if I'm wearing makeup, because this one is an amazing retouching powder. If you use this over your makeup, you're going to have your makeup last long. And even though it's a foundation powder, I don't mind that extra layer. But if you want something that's more sheer over your foundation, you can definitely go for a pressed powder. I also like to use like a translucent powder. The brand doesn't matter, but just long as it does the trick. The third foundation I'm going to be talking about is from Fenty Beauty. So this one is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This one has been quite a game changer, because whenever I have a day where my skin is super oily, which rarely happens, but it does happen, and I want something that's super mattifying, that will not budge, then I will go ahead and use this, because it not only gives me that super matte effect, but it kind of makes sure that my makeup stays in place for a very long time, and I don't necessarily need to set this with a lot of powder. So it gives me that long wearing kind of look without the stress of it looking too powdery. So you have kind of the best of both worlds with that one. Because ideally, when you think about foundations for oily skin or combination skin, you don't think of cream, but this one is actually the one from Bobbi Brown. It's the cream stick foundation. The shade in this is Golden Honey. like that. It's just a cream stick foundation. This one is like, honestly, it's one of the best foundations I've used because it's not something that's super mattifying. It's not something that's super liquidy or creamy or too hydrating. It's just the right amount that you need. So the foundation that I'm wearing right now is actually the stick foundation. This one really lasts me a long time. And in terms of the packaging, I think it's super easy to use. You just remove some and just go ahead and like draw that on your skin and then buff it. I use like a beauty blender to just push it into my skin and blend it, because I feel like the brush kind of takes away quite a bit of product with that one. And in general, for most foundations, I tend to use sponges because I feel like they really blend the product really easily. So yeah, if you're looking for a foundation that's super easy and super versatile in terms of the finishes you can achieve with it, definitely go ahead and buy the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Stick. The last one that I want to talk about is actually the one that surprised me the most. Ideally, I wouldn't go and pick another liquid foundation because I am super happy with the foundations that I know about already. But for my wedding, I thought I'm gonna do something special. And I thought, okay, let's try another foundation. So I went ahead and I bought this one. So this is the Bobbi Brown Skin Long Wearing Weightless Foundation with SPF 15. It has full cover written on it, and it is full coverage, and it has oil-free shine control in it. I think this one is really good. I mean, I wore it for my wedding. It was that amazing. So it kind of gave me this very thin sheer layer, and at the same time it was super long wearing. It did not dry out my skin at all at any point of time. I constantly had like this glow going on, and it did not move. So what I'd used this with was actually the concealer palette from MAC. So I'd use this underneath, and then I'd put this over it. And to make sure that my makeup stayed in place forever, I set it with the Studio Fix. And that is all I used on my face on my wedding day. And it really stayed all day. In terms of the finish of this one, it gives you a satin finish. This one also gives you a satin finish. This is definitely a matte finish. You could say is a semi-matte finish. This is again a matte finish. So those were my favorite foundations. If you like any of them, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any other foundations that you think I should try, or some other foundation that is very similar to the ones that I'm using, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to try more. Thank you again for watching and tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.